Have a really good think, because somebody you know could earn you a lot of money for very little effort. Think, who do you know that wants to buy a property in Spain? A colleague, a mate, someone in your family, a friend of a friend? If you know someone, go to welcome-estates.com and click the Refer a Friend link. If they buy, you'll pocket a nice chunky thank you from one of Spain's leading estate agents. T's and C's apply. All details at welcome-estates.com.
Hello all you hardcores out there, how are you doing? Just here from Porky's Corner, biggest gob in sport. We're here. Jesus. Right. I want to talk about a bit of safety stuff today. And people saying fighters are shot and things like that. I'm just looking for something in here now. That's here. Yeah. Right, this is how I look at it, right? This is how I look at it. Jotted a few things down here. You don't need to memorise it. I'll just jot a few things down here. That's how I look at it. A boxer has an average of 40 fights, doesn't he? Right? Over 15 years. That's 40 lots of sparring, isn't it? If he's got 40 camps, yeah? Right. 40 camps, 40 fights. On average, yeah? Punched 50 to 200 times on average in head a fight. Plus you got all that sparring. That's probably 16,000 to 20,000 punches that have took in the career. And that's a lot, that, isn't it? Not like Floyd Mayweather and your Useks and that. They don't take punishment, them sort of guys, do they? But at some point you're going to get hit. Now, that's why they call it the sweet science. Hit and not get hit. But the point I want to make is here, I'd like to see, you know, scanning equipment in gyms. You know, then we've got professional fighters. If it's too expensive, could they just have one in each area where there's easy access? You know, it saves you having to go to NHS and sit there 8-12 hours, you know, with bad headaches wanting a scan. There should be something that the Border Control can do, right, in UK for fighters to like do the sparring and then get a scan, because if you're only having one scan a year, right, you're only having one brain scan a year. What if you have sparring in between? If you've got sparring in between that one, you say if you have a brain scan in May this year and then you've got May next year a scan, what about in between? If you're knocking people out, if you have 3 fights as a pro and you knock them all out in first round, that's brilliant. But what if you get caught in sparring and you get buzzed? You don't know what damage that's done, but yet because you're knocking everybody out, everybody thinks you've not took damage. A lot of damage is took in sparring. You've only got to go speak to fighters, managers, trainers, promoters. Everybody knows. The board know. Robert Smith's the next fighter. He will know. So why is it when fighters have got problems with headaches or anything like that, they have to be subjected to go sit in NHS now? Years ago, NHS used to be, you couldn't really complain until you've been there 4 hours at A&E. After 4 hours, you've got a bit of a case. They used to have to deal with you. It's 12 hours now. So that can upset a fighter's regime, that, can't it? Sat in there all day waiting. So why can't there be some places in UK, even local doctors, say one in Sheffield, one in Liverpool, one in Manchester, that'd be a start. One in Leeds, that's 4 across middle of the country. Then maybe they could do 10 in country instead of everybody having to go to NHS and sit there hours. It's just a thought. Fighters are getting punched in hard, aren't they? And people are cheating, they're taking PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. It's rife in the boxing. Nobody wants to talk about it. Promoters don't want to talk about it. They're shutting it down, aren't they? Eddie wants to talk about Conor Benn because he wants to be in news himself, but people are getting punched in the head. Now, when you're depleted with weight, for example, I've just done like a really strict diet and there isn't really much to take off me, but I said I can take another few pound off. But look where you lose your weight if you just go into fluids or you don't eat for 24 hours. Look, you're losing it around your head. So you're losing it around there. The last weight to lose, a fighter loses when he's stripping down. It's the fluid around your brain. Do you know what I mean? And you're getting punched. Just get your fist like that, punch your hand like that with your fist. Now imagine doing it with a 30-pound mallet that's padded 50 to 200 times a night on average. Over a year, 20,000 times with your sparring. Your head's not designed for that. So this is why we've made a big thing about performance enhancing drugs and safety for fighters. I've had a go at Robert Smith for 15 years now. Nothing's happening with this, and there's no scanning stuff available for anybody, and they could get a deal with government or anything like that. I don't see anybody putting presentations together to board or to government or MPs or anything like that. Everybody just puts their head in the sands. But have you ever actually been and spoke to fighters that are retired, or or even fighters that are probably 2 or 3 years away from retiring? Go and speak to them. Go and look at the Muhammad Ali interview before he fought Larry Holmes, and he'd been retired 2.5 years then, or a couple of years. Go and look at the interview, how he's speaking. That's happening in the UK. That is happening in the UK, but like I said, nobody's doing anything, are they? Nobody's saying a word. All we want, Robert Smith, is frequent testing and brain scanning equipment in the gyms or in an area, in one in Sheffield, and all gyms could use it. Easy access. You ring up, can we get our guy in for a scan? He's been sparring today, or he was sparring last night. Or get him in weekly, or get him in monthly, just once a month. Leading up to a fight after the sparring. What if fighters are going into the ring and they've been 8 months without a test and they've picked up an injury in sparring, and then they're going in the ring and somebody's finishing them off? What if the guy finishing them off's had PEDs, but the guy already had a clot on his head? It's going to be messy, innit? And I'm foreseeing things now. Well, we've been saying it years, haven't we? So Robert Smith, what are you doing about this? Scanning. And what are you doing about performance enhancing drug testing? Getting it all sorted once and for all. And pensions for fighters. You're not doing notes, Smith, are you? You're taking and taking and taking, and you keep going another year. Oh, we'll give him another year, another year, another year. It's like that film, innit? 48 hours. Before you know where you are, it's another 48 hours, then part 3, yet another 48 hours. Well, this is yet another term with Robert Smith, or should I say, AKA Roberto. Isn't that right, Roberto? 15 years at the helm. What are you doing? Like I said, people are getting punched in the head. You're not doing note about it. You've let all this misfit stuff in. I'm going off on a tangent here. It's just how I feel. What are you doing, Smith? Fighters are getting punched in the head. It's not like sprinting or playing tennis or golf. They're getting punched in the head, and you're doing note, Smith. You're doing nothing. You can't even get Gary Sykes' British title, can you? That he won outright. Anyway, tangent over, rant over. It's a lovely day. Alright? Peace. I'm off. Get some proper graft done now. Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.